from Houston. The baseball postseason continues with a pair of must-win Game 3s in the NLDS. First up from Coors Field, the Rockies will try to stave off elimination against the Brewers. And then tonight in Atlanta, the Braves, also down 0-2, will try to avoid getting swept by the Dodgers. I'm Jeff Biggs. This is NBC Sports Radio.
This election, the voters in the 42nd Assembly District have an amazing chance to finally be represented in Sacramento by someone who listens and cares.
I'm Denny Antoinette Mazingo. Vote for me November 6th.
Denny will reach across the aisle to work with the majority in Sacramento and give voters the voice they've been waiting for and need.
I will advocate and fight for universal health care, a path from college to career free of debt, a healthy business environment with abundant well-paying jobs, affordable housing for all, safe schools and communities, a transition program for 18-year-old foster care children. Seniors have to choose monthly on what life necessities they can afford, and we're going to change that.
Denny's a former military lawyer, a JAG. She will fight for you in Sacramento. Google Denny, D-E-N-I.
I'm Denny Antoinette Mazingo. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Denny Antoinette Mazingo.
Success Partner presents the all-new Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market, located on the corner of County Line Road and California Street in the city of Yucaipa. This all-new neighborhood farmers market is open from 8 a.m. to noon on most Saturdays and carries some of the freshest produce in the Inland Empire. The Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market, now open on most Saturdays at 13669 California Street in Yucaipa. 13669 California Street in Yucaipa. More information at 909-222-9293. That number again is 909-222-9293, or email successpartner@live.com. The all-new Yucaipa and Cala Mesa Morning Market, now open on most Saturdays in Yucaipa. Presented by Success Partner.
Hi folks, if you're still paying for electricity every month, it means you haven't signed up for the Inland Empire's #1 money savings program offered by Horizon Solar Power. Just call to qualify your home and Horizon will give you $100 plus pay your electric bill until 2020. It's that simple. Call, qualify, get $100 and no electric bill payments until 2020. So keep your money in your pocket and become energy independent today. Call 844-711-6996. That's 844-711-6996. Or click on one of our Stay Cool ads at KCAAradio.com. Re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th, because Sheriff Sniff will keep our families safe. Let's keep a proven and experienced leader in this critical office as he continues to modernize our Sheriff's Department by integrating technology tools for his deputies and dramatically improving their training and equipment. Vote for experience, proven leadership, and integrity. Vote to re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th. Paid for by Friends of Stan Sniff 2018.
Okay, greetings, folks. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We're here on the case for truth and justice with the right information and the right Supreme Court justice. Hey, that's my job today. Man, I'm glad to see you. Sorry about last week. But glad about last week. I had something that I had to get rid of called a hernia. You know. But it seems like our president, our leadership, there seems to be a secret society, these called We Who Stand Up to Pee, and they are operating against an unsecret group of ladies that they call They Who Sit to Pee. This man thing is nuts. It's going crazy. It's like they had to fight to get hurricanes to include the names of men. And I'm going back to this hernia thing because that's one of the worst feelings of all time. But to announce it with her as opposed to a heminia, why would it not be a heminia? Women can't get them, men get them. Why would it be a hernia? Another, they can get them? Okay, well, they should still call it a hymnia. You know, my point again, it goes back to this issue of the boys against the girls. This divine right of man, not man, white men over the world and women. This thing is nuts. You guys, it was stupid and obvious during this, you know, with this racist thing. It's just stupid and obvious, but it's even more stupid and obvious when we talk about the boys against the girls. This artificial power punctuation of men, it's ridiculous. And then the women who support it remind me of this, what is it, the Stockholm Syndrome. That's when the person that's kidnapped and abused starts to identify with the kidnapper and the abuser because it's safer there. Man, I tell you, there's statistics that demonstrate the support of white women for this pea-grabbing president, his partners in crime, the little scared men who pay their dues to this We Who Stand Up and Pea group, you know, with their quiet abuse to the women in their family, the women that are not in their family, just because they women, the little secret things, the little secret code things that men do and approve, and the ones that the women who've been exposed to it, the ones who have 50, 60, 70 years of it, you know, they can't do anything but look at how far they've come. They're just as happy as, you know, gonna be all right. Suffer it with me, darling, it'll be okay. Young women, on the other hand, you know, they're ready to punch you out. Praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry, I mean, I can't, that's not what I'm advising, but I'm seeing that it takes a lot longer for you to drive the spunk out of the girls and women now than it used to. Those of us who are really independent in life, who really want to taste the taste of the fruit, not the juice from some manufactured situation, but the essence, not some beat down personality set up to follow and subscribe to your ignorant wishes, unrounded desires, uneducated proposals. To know the strength of a woman is to know the strength of your full potential. But that's what the word complement means. Man and woman complement each other. Personalities complement each other. A man without, a nation without, a world without the full input of the intellect and power of women, independent women thought, is set to fail. It's set to become lopsided and warped and wobble as opposed to roll smoothly. I say, guys, you don't go for the okie doke. We've sat around and listened to our artists speak about our mothers, sisters, lovers, wives, as though they were pieces of whatever, to be grabbed by the president and his cronies. Come on. When you describe the things that you love and that love you in such a low manner, you describe a lowness of self. So together we rise. Separately we sink. Together we rise. This is Empire Talks Back. Our goal is to rise, is to point out that we are here together for a purpose. We bring resources to the table. Our goal is to touch those resources and gently, effectively pull them out so that we can all use them, take advantage of them. Take advantage of me. I want to take advantage of you and your resources. And I'm not talking about in an abusive way. I'm talking about the same way the dew settles on the grass and the flowers, you know, the thing that caresses and makes it grow. And that's what we have to do together. So we're going to introduce you to some programs. We have a young lady who has a women's program. Man, the best way for you to be complete is to be sure that the woman is complete. So we want to support this program. Then I have another unique situation where we have a potential boys against the girls situation. But we've got a couple of people who are demonstrating that no, it ain't boys against the girls. This is man and woman and man doing a thing together. And demonstrating how they do it and want to talk to you about it. And of course we have Miss Tammy Martin Riles. Hey Tammy, how you doing? Yeah, I have gotten on a couple of her nerves already today, but there's about 6 more that I'm aiming for. We'll work it out. And we'll be back right after this short break. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm looking forward to the information we're going to receive today, the inspiration we'll take, and I'll bet you by the end of the day, some of you boys who think it's against the girls will realize that it's really good versus evil come together. We'll be back right after this short break.
Wishing for a little more information?
Alrighty then.
You'll get it here at KCAA 102.3 FM Riverside.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
Is setting up our Facebook stream.
You sounding so formal. You know, you sounding so formal. So don't have my little clamp. So we're going to use a little turn. Oh, that's yours, right?
Can you give us some balance in there? Let me do a little check all the way across the board here. All right, everybody, we're going to go one. I'm going to give it 5. You give it through the rest of it. But let's give him a sound check in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Give him a sound check.
Testing.
Yes.
You tell me.
Oh, I'm always testing. I'm always. Yes. Okay. So Wallace, are we ready to roll?
Ooh, we must be. We are actually rolling.
You
Tammy,
can, but I put them down there so we can actually hear. But if you want to hear yourself, go ahead. Put them on.
Take a chance on blowing your ears out. It is. Okay.
Yes, I put it loud so that we get a call where everyone can hear.
Very good. Once again, in case you didn't know, this is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. On the far your left is Miss Tammy Martin Riles, and she's going to introduce our guest.
Yeah,
Tammy, how you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. Other than this, it's cold outside. Well, chilly outside, but it sure is hot up in here.
Yes.
Not up in here. See, I'm from the South. It's hot up in here. So, you know what that means, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you from Mississippi. Don't try to act like you all
grew up. I just heard you say how formal I was sounding, and I didn't know if you were. Yes, but I see you want to go south and push me north.
Sometimes you got to go there.
Okay.
It's hot up in here.
Well, I know you just got back from the Black Caucus.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
so,
and
how's that? Oh, that was absolutely fabulous.
Were they honoring the presence of women, or did you guys have to sit in the back? Anything that
why would you need to stop?
No, I'm
Of course, actually the caucus was geared more towards women entrepreneurs.
That's what I want to hear.
So they had a lot of women forums. They had a lot of just I would really say everything was centered around women. And the main message to take back home was vote. Mm-hmm. Just the last election, it kind of set the tone for, okay, we can't be taking things lightly. We joke around and we think, things are going to go in our favor, or we're going to get the benefit of what we're putting out or whatever. But it said vote, become engaged, understand, what the laws are, understand who you're voting for and why you're voting for them. just everything. So
with this recent circumstance with the Supreme Court judge and the accusations, well, I'm gonna let you have 1 minute on that. No,
because you're gonna go to Cosby, and then we gonna be gone. No, gone.
Well, no, that's
mention Kavanaugh.
As we talk about voting, I just want to test the temperature. You know, what did you give you 30 seconds?
Okay,
Tell me about the Kavanaugh appointment and this circus around the appointment.
Why you want me to tell you about it? That's your subject. I'm just telling people don't vote him in. Just you know, if point blank, don't get. I mean, not the people, but I mean not to have him appointed. Just. I mean, you want to get him out? I mean, we can start a little. No. My thing is that he's there. He's not going anywhere now. But prior to, what does that mean? As we tell people to go vote, what we're saying. He's already appointed. Am I lost?
He's already been appointed already.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he has
I'm sorry, y'all. I've been so busy.
A good lead into what entrepreneurship you said talked about during the caucus.
Yes. Oh, that's what the caucus focused on, which we're going to go ahead and blend into now.
Go on and
we ain't talking about Kavanaugh because now you got my head twisted. The man's already appointed, but we can already get him out.
No, okay, go ahead, but I don't waste time about getting him out. I'm just like from where we are, where we go. As entrepreneurs, as business folk, as folk who have to have a business about doing business for ourselves as a people, fitting in with the goals of our country, which we think really fits more of the morality that we are expressing as we go forward than the morality that's being expressed. I like the idea of taking care of the poor and the weak and the widowed. I like the idea of educating the uneducated, of allowing some type of income to be made available to the impoverished. Yes. I like that, and to make that occur and be entrepreneurs is what we as a people, I think, need to do. So going back to what you were saying about the emphasis on entrepreneurism, but women entrepreneurs, as you went back to the Black Caucus. I think that's a good way to lead in, and once again,
let me introduce my guest. He go being proper again. I'm going to introduce my guest, y'all. Wallace being proper. I have two wonderful guests here. They are married. They've been married for over 7 years. We have Mr. Burt Wright and his wife, Kinson. And today we're going to be talking about a little social entrepreneurship and marriage. Why that look? We're not going to look at Wallace today, okay? But we're going to be talking about that because we have Bert over here. He's a social entrepreneur, and his wife, she's a marriage therapist. Yes. And she's looking to get her license and everything. But they want to talk about the ups and downs and what they go through between having an entrepreneur and having another working spouse, and because people think it's easy. You know, and we see one face when, especially with me having mixers and everything, you know, people say, well, I can't come out. And we don't understand the background of why sometimes they can't come out. Because, see, sometimes either husband got the foot on the toe or then the wife pulling the back shirt. Right. What you going over there for? They
might be playing the boys against the girls game.
No, we ain't playing.
Not even close.
No. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let them, because we're going to be addressing certain things. I'm going to let them talk about it because they're going to give us a lesson. I think that's very interesting. Sometimes Wallace, got to be quiet. See, look at him. And then we got to let them look at him. See, just smiling. So, Bert, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about it.
I think our story starts with the fact, I remember one of my most important moments in our journey as an entrepreneur and being married was when we had to have a yard sale just to keep the lights on, keep food on the table. And sometimes we forget that part, that entrepreneurship is a journey in itself for a husband and wife. And, you know, probably one of my lowest moments we had to deal with. But going forward, we grew from that, learned from that, and realized that there's a great opportunity to share our story as far as how to grow, learn as married couples in entrepreneurship. So,
and then especially as women and supporting my husband, we like stability. I love stability, and being married to an entrepreneur, it's stressful. It's stressful. It's not stable. So really knowing that's what we want to share about, not only the ups and downs around entrepreneurship, but also as women, the need for stability, but also knowing that there is instability when there is around entrepreneurship.
And what type of business?
You have first?
I am the entrepreneur therapist, aka your empowerment concierge. So basically what I do is I spread empowerment one piece at a time. So if you're looking at it on the video, I have a empowerment piece, which is joy I'm wearing around my neck right now. Yes.
You need some of that, Wall.
Yes. Hope and joy around my neck. So, and then the entrepreneur therapist is when we started off, I actually was in depression. I was actually in depression and I didn't know how to get out of it. I was in front of my computer knowing I had to do things, but I wasn't doing it. So thank God for Bert. And he held me down and was there when I wasn't able to take care of my business. So, so without the support, I realized that I would have given up. I would have given up and quit and realized, forget it, I'm just gonna get a 9 to 5 because that's stable. I know I'll get a check no matter what, so I'm gonna do that. So by realizing that, I realized not everybody has that. Not all entrepreneurs have that. So I wanna be that person, that support, that shoulder to cry on, that person they could go to and say, you can do this, you got this, let's talk about it, you can vent, but let's get it cracking because there are people out there waiting for your solution. So that's the entrepreneur therapist side.
Well, I can tell you this, there are a lot of people out there feeling like that, and then it comes across, I know when talking to entrepreneurs, it comes across sometimes and as in a pressured way. Like say, for example, if I'm talking to a person like, hey, we have this gala. Girl, let me tell you something. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't know where my next dollar coming from. And I'm like, but didn't you choose?
Yep.
Well, which I think is a very important topic you mentioned, Tammy, is that entrepreneurship is a skill set you have to learn at some point. And, you know, we're quick to tell people that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And you don't want to push that agenda to every single person out there. But I do believe, well, let me caveat that. Let me caveat. Entrepreneurship may not be for everybody. I do believe everybody should at least have a side hustle. Because you never know at some point you get tired of having your main job. But what you're saying there, Tammy, is that you're right. Entrepreneurship is a skill set. People need to learn how to create their own business, you know, run their own business and be able to make money. If you can't make money, you got to be able to learn how to balance your dreams and your realities at the same time.
Could I suggest that everybody really is an entrepreneur? It's just the level of business that they're dealing with may, from the direction that it's coming, appear to be that you're not an entrepreneur. But if you're in America and you're consuming, you are an uninformed entrepreneur. You're in a game that you don't know you're in, and the score is going up against you constantly. If you go to the store without an idea of what you want to do, if you haven't done your job to prepare yourself to go into that field of battle that you think is a comfortable little grocery store, you're constantly being attacked by marketers who are entrepreneurs. And you're on that field. You can say, I don't play football, but you run across that field while the game is in action. You're part of that movement. Paying attention to that, being part of that, is how woke are we in what kind of about the circumstance that we're operating in.
Did you say woke?
You say woke.
Hello, you are there. My goodness. Okay.
But I agree with you saying, Waz. I think if you understand that at the end of the day, our household is a business and a corporation, and we're like a CEO, how you manage your bills and expenses is what any entrepreneur does day in, day out, whether you work for a 9 to 5 or not. You're very true in that. You're correct in what you're saying.
So tell me this, how do you guys manage to keep your marriage strong, knowing that, you know, you're dealing with the entrepreneurial woes? What do you do?
So what we do is communicate. Communicate, because there are lots of woes.
Yes.
When it comes to entrepreneurship. And understanding that, and also our own limits and our non-negotiables as individuals, what we want and what we are willing to sacrifice, that's important to communicate, because there's going to be sacrifices as an entrepreneur and a married couple. So really knowing that and communicating that and having a conversation around the non-negotiables versus the negotiables.
So part of that communication, understand what is your spouse's risk tolerance. And understand that regardless if she is actively engaged in your business or not, she is still your business partner in your home, in your house, and in your business. So you may not go to your spouse, husband, wife, significant other for technical advice on your business, but understand that they are going to be impacted by your decisions as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. So that's one of the things we realize as keeping the lines of communication. As from a man's perspective, you got to understand there's a time and place to share good news and bad news at the same time there too.
You got that, Wallace? No, I'm just, I like to pick on Wallace.
Well,
keep going. No.
When we talk about entrepreneurism, a lot of people have different ideas about what is entrepreneurism,
Yes.
and you guys are not speaking a lot about, the actual business and the hours and the things that you do. And I take it that both of you are entrepreneurs,
Right?
And we described Mrs. Wright's business. We haven't described yours. Entrepreneur, I heard you say everybody needs a side hustle. To some folks, entrepreneurism, and accurately stated, would be sitting up at the computer looking at what things are available in Alabama and finding some people who want to buy it, and push that all the way from that to having a passion about a business or an old hobby that you want to take into a business. That movement is what I think most of us call the entrepreneurism. That's the part where you're pushing what apparently is a basket full of nothing over into the realm of something somehow. And once one of those things catch, now you're in business. But I'd like to go back to, you're in business from the time you start operating.
Right.
And if you do it that way, everybody from the beginning knows they're in it, if it's kind of described that way. And what do you guys think about that?
And at the end of the day, an entrepreneur is someone who solves a problem for a profit.
Service. Yes.
And
Okay,
service.
good.
So,
I like that.
And that problem could be you need to pay your bills. So you go to work every day 9 to 5, and your profit is your paycheck. To somebody who doesn't depend on a W-2 employee who sells widgets for a markup. That's the same thing. So it doesn't matter what side of the equation you're on. So entrepreneurship for every person varies from degree to person to person. So I agree with what you're saying, Wallace, that sometimes it could be a person, like you said, who sells something on eBay, to somebody who opens a brick and mortar, somebody who opens an online business. It's the same. It's the same process, just different levels of doing that.
And I think that once we look at what you call the core elements of getting along as husband and wife entrepreneurs, it's also going to be those things will be very much in common with what a counselor would say just to a married couple or a business partner. Right. And it has to do, like you say, with open communication, having some type of common goal that you're able to speak to and demonstrate toward on a regular basis. That is so simple that it's the great formula for not just what we're talking about, but what we're going to keep talking about. It's, once again, the resources, realizing the resources, putting them on the table, communicating about it, and setting a goal and moving forward. This is hello, hallelujah. You guys are.
But Wallace, I do want to add this though. I know you make it sound simple, like this is.
No, I think it's like it's worthy of the task to get to.
Yes, but I mean, the stories that I hear, you have marriages on the line. Listen, if that business over there does not make any money by July, okay, you just got one or two things. I'm leaving you, or you going. I mean, seriously, I've heard all the stories.
You know what? A marriage counselor would tell you, you know what? It ain't that business. That's the problem.
No, I got you.
Okay, so
it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, because in other words, you don't bring me some more money up in here, I'm leaving, because that's what it boils down to.
Well,
that's what.
That's one reason. That could be one reason, but that's not all the reasons.
But let's say
okay, who's going to tell the business guy who's bringing a ton of money in that if you don't stop bringing some money in by July, I'm going to leave?
No, wait a minute.
No, so it's got to be.
Wallace, wait.
Let's be
No, because everybody is not always just about the money. Because if that entrepreneur business is keeping that spouse away from his wife, or his wife is staying away from the husband, there's still.
We can solve that problem.
There are.
So are we saying that she's saying, or that he's saying, or she's saying, in 3 months we better be able to spend more time together?
Yes. But wait a minute, Wallace.
I'm with you. If you're saying that's a negotiation.
Wait, please. Go ahead.
So I want to let my wife say a few words about that, because she can talk about that.
Okay, yes.
A little bit.
So it is about the money, yet not about the money, because you could bring in all the money and not be present, and you could be not bringing any of the money and be present, because for us it was not bringing in the money, but I knew in his dream and knowing he was doing the work where I was willing to stick around, And it also went down back to communication and having those conversations and sharing the fears and really reflecting on myself about what am I going to deal with and what am I not going to deal with.
So the two questions is who is each other's risk tolerance?
Mm-hmm.
So your spouse's risk tolerance, understand that aspect there too. That goes back to communication. And one things I learned from her was that women like safety and security, would you say, overall, for the most part?
There we go. We did finally get us a gender statement. All right, good. That's a good break point. That's a good break point.
Take a break.
Well, I mean, anytime he says, women do such and such a thing, their tolerance point, that's the break point. That's the point where we do acknowledge that we're starting to attribute some qualities to each other that more are gender-based than they are necessarily hernia-based.
Well,
we're going to take a short break because it's time for that, and I need a short break. And we're going to invite Ms. Chelsea Davis into the conversation as we come out of the break. But let's take it away, and we'll come back and see if this indication.
On in this break.
Yeah, we're going to see if we've got any kind of level of. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
You'll get it here at KCAA 102.3 FM Riverside. Wishing for a little more information?
Alrighty then.
You'll get it here at KCAA 102.3 FM Riverside.
I'm under control. It's cool over here. I'm not heated up at all. We're cool.
Let me move this back.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm not worried about that, but I'm looking for my musical introductions just before my break times. My break time should be 15, 30, and 45. Okay, and you give me a 30-second music slide to let me know I'm moving into the break, please.
We are at Empire Talks Back, and it is getting.
Chelsea, I'm gonna open up introducing you and your program, okay, so that we get stay safe from being too personal up in here.
Oh, it's not personal, but you be making
no, that's what I was speaking from my standpoint. I didn't want to get too personal here because
you guys already know it's already the battle of the sexes up in here.
No, it is not the boys against the girls. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It is not. But it heads in that direction, and if Trump and his guys have their place. Here we go. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. I need help. I need help to turn against this tradition. We have a centuries-old tradition. I asked Brother EC to send me some scripture on the Bible making some positive statements about women. I haven't been able to open my phone to get to that. But I do believe that as we go and we look at these so-called highly religious evangelicals in particular, who are supportive of Mr. crotch-grabbing Trump and his associates, it just is demeaning to everything that I have ever felt about America and my mother, sister, girlfriends, wives, associates. I'm disappointed in how strong that tradition is and how we men innocently subscribe to the abuse, the mental abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse of our women. And I say our women in the sense not as a possession, but as a goal, as a potential partners, as the other side of whom we are. That we're missing out if we don't allow, push for, encourage, demand that women be full persons, full associates, full partners.
In life and business.
And in life, and as in life, that means everything else. if you give it that total respect from the beginning, it'll be there to the end. And we can go off into any little classifications that we want to, but it'll still end up being, how are we getting along? How much respect are we delivering? And how does it go? Michelle C. Davis. This young lady is important to me in that she has an intern. We have some history, and we can take a little credit, we being West Side Story newspaper, Empire Talks Back, can take a little credit for the progress and the impact that she's ultimately going to make on this planet. Yes. So, Chelsea, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
God is great. I'm grateful. Tell us about your program, your upcoming conference, and we'll talk from there.
Okay, so I'm really excited. I, along with 2 other organizations, so I have an organization called Limitless Heights, and it's a nonprofit organization, and we are collaborating with Sisters with Success, another nonprofit, and Love to Be You, which is an organization all about motherhood, about doula services, and anything that pertains to motherhood. So we decided to come together to host this women's wellness conference. It's a day for empowerment. We're going to be covering physical, mental, and spiritual wellness.
Nutritional?
Yes, nutrition is a part of the physical part. We will be having speakers to cover alternative healing, nutrition, self-love, and body positivity, stress, anxiety, and depression, and then how to connect with God, how to have a relationship with God. We felt like those were the kind of most important things for women to be the best version of themselves. So this conference is called Living My Best Life, and it's just about how women can invest in themselves and live their best life. So we're really excited. Yeah.
I'm all for that. You know, I want to support that. How do we support that? And when is it taking place?
The conference will be held on October 20th.
It's just around the corner.
Saturday. It's like 2 weeks away. It's going to be at Loveland Church. So we have ticket registrations available. You can purchase your ticket online on Eventbrite. The link is Celebrating Me, and you can find it there, or you can also register the day of. So if you just come to the church, it starts at 7:30 a.m. and then it ends at 3:30. So it'll be an all-day event, and it's going to be really powerful.
Chelsea, give us your educational status.
So my background is in mental health. My nonprofit organization is mental health based, and we offer different mental health outlets in the community. I do a lot of creative work, so it's creative based, so we have all types of different stuff. But my history, educational history, I got my bachelor's degree from Clark Atlanta University in psychology, and then I came back home and went to USC and got my master's of social work.
Very good. Okay, and you have a little bit of an entrepreneurial tilt yourself, but let me ask you this question. Your conference is for empowerment of women.
Yes.
And all of these things that you're doing, why are we having to do all of these things for women? What's going on?
Well, my organization is really for everyone, but we decided to focus this aspect more on women just because of just this kind of like time we're in. I heard you guys talking a little bit earlier about entrepreneurship, and then also about women being appreciated for their wholeness. And a lot of times women don't understand what it means to be whole. So this is kind of a time for us to reflect. We will have some other amazing things. We have a live band, we have food, we have a time for women to pamper themselves, where we'll have a massage therapist come in. You can get upgrade packages where you can get your makeup done, get a photo shoot, and just feel empowered and feel what it means to be a woman, beautiful inside and out. Mm-hmm. And I just, it's time. It's our time to be recognized for just being great.
As we look at that empowerment, and I know that you're a creative person. I've heard you for your poetry, your very passionate poetry, your expression of being a whole woman. What does that relate to politically in this atmosphere? And as you danced around and made no mention of the suppression that society has on women mentally and physically. As you announced, the woman's move to get whole, as though it's the woman's fault, yes, as opposed to there really being a evilness that's trying to suppress, and not only suppress women, but encourage men to make that suppression. Yeah. In this atmosphere, for you to have a women's conference, I'm just wondering why and how, or do we not mention that? Are you scared? No, I know she's not. I'm challenging, understand. I'm trying to light the fire. I would like for you to come back and tell me, Mr. Allen, you threw the match.
I'm definitely not afraid of that at all.
Right. But am I correct, as you listen to how she described the conference? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you feel any? And I don't know if it's that's the way it is, but this is a time that I would expect that as women come together, that one of the topics has to be this suppression. This overt suppression of women, this overt, when the president stands up and judges and the future of the country is put in the hands of people who have these kind of attitudes. I mean, when we can't be woke with one eye closed, that's all I'm saying. And I'm wondering and depending as I express my, my faith in the young folk, because I know older people, we get used to it, and, it's just not as... we came a long way. Well, you guys are looking at it where you got to go with it, and you're looking at it. Yeah, please. I'm trying to light.
As you're having your conference, how do you see this playing? Because I'm assuming you're an entrepreneur or entrepreneur tendencies. How do you see this wellness workshop helping you take care of your whole self as an entrepreneur?
I think that for one, putting together this event is a process for myself. I think that in order for you to come and present this type of information to women, you have to be at a certain level yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that means investing in yourself and remembering to have self-love for yourself, mm-hmm, and doing things that are just for me, making sure that my mental health and my spiritual health are where they need to be. In order for me to promote this, even my organization is called Limitless Heights. And I feel like in order for me to have this organization, I have to represent what it means to be limitless. Mm-hmm. So in all of that, I feel like it's helpful for me to be able to see my growth in the process, and also to practice what I preach. So, I'm able to start applying these things to my life, applying better nutrition to my life, applying better mental health tactics to my life, and just, being the change I want to see in the world.
And what I want to, oh my goodness, I want to add this because I guess, I've been to so many conferences. Probably over the last 20 years, I can tell you, I've probably been to 100. I will challenge you on this. What I see is, we can go to that feel-good spot. It makes us feel good. It revitalizes us. But the challenge is, what are they physically going to take away, and how are they going to start applying this to their life? Because sometimes I think the speakers need to get together and say, how are we going to really pull this together where we have 10 steps? And then maybe we can come back for an even smaller meeting and say, how are we doing?
At least a theme.
Yeah, how are we doing? And I think, go ahead, girl.
I love that question. So the difference in this conference is that it's not your typical conference. You're not just going to go and hear a bunch of speakers. The difference is we have set it up so that you hear your speakers, you have actual breaks where you're actually doing something. So we have a yoga break and a meditation break, and then we have times where we'll have a panel right after the speakers speak so that the audience has a chance to ask questions about what they just heard. And then after we have the panel discussion, we go into this thing called a spark group, where you're working together to write out a plan for what you just heard, like next step. So we have pre-posed questions that we're gonna give our attendees so that they can write out their goals, so that they can put in the work to do what they've heard.
Can I ask a follow-up question that I see I have a gentleman in the room who's taking video. Is he a significant other?
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on blast.
Keep working on that.
I don't want to put you on blast, brother. But
here we go, because that's what's working towards your topic.
So how have you expressed to him that your entrepreneurial journey has affected your relationship? What things you've told him to make sure he understands the journey you're going through as an entrepreneur?
He's very supportive. He's a part of my nonprofit board. He's actually the chief financial officer. So he's been very supportive in the process, and just his background is in digital marketing, so he's been very helpful with just
Let's go through this commitment right after this short break, because we are in the middle of describing a contract, and I wanted to be sure I had my pen out and accurately described all of the terms. We'll be back right after this break. This is Empire Talks Back.
All right, y'all, this is getting
held us down, but now it seems like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go. Where we'll end up, I don't know, but we won't let nothing hold us back. Gonna put ourselves together, gonna polish up our head.
This is Empire Talks Back.
$20 in your relationship. No.
Okay, we're back. Tammy's getting phone calls. Oh, it's wired up in here. We have it going on. We want to thank everybody who's working with the stream. Some of the questions you're asking, we wish we had time to answer, but we do appreciate you asking them. Yes. There's a couple of questions. One, Tammy was giving the...
Are we back on?
Yes. Well, yeah, we're back on. Was that... No.
No, it was about the investing into the relationship.
No. They were really getting nosy as to the level of relationship.
Let's put her back on the spot.
And then we'll come back to
we don't know if they finally committed. They all the way in. Let's just keep it 100.
This is a semi-goddaughter. I guess we should, double check this out.
Let's not put him on blast.
No, yeah, you did. You put him on blast. You did it. He's been,
so.
It's about the conference.
That's right. And I was getting ready to tell you, that, if we're going to have... I don't know how good it is to have that kind of relationship with the board of director of your board of directors. Y'all might want to put a little distance between you. I don't know. That's just...
one break up with the other. But we ain't going to know. We going to listen. They're both mature. If something happened, which is not, then we're going to move forward.
See, this is when you mix all of these different generations. Different
$20 a year.
See where you went.
$20 a year.
I'm protected.
We got 10.
Goddaughter. What am I saying?
So let's go over to this book, and then because Wallace
$20 a year into your relationship.
Yes. Let them talk about
it. Go ahead.
So you brought up a good point about the board and being, it might be your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse,
or your husband.
Yeah,
you got,
And that brings in the $20 a year. So what do we mean $20 a year? Basically, we spend so much money in our education, learning skills, but we don't spend not much on our relationships. There's no marriage book. There's no how to get married, how to have kids, but we don't spend the money. So we've learned to read. We read one book together a year.
Oh.
So that's where the $20 a year comes in.
Sharing the experience of a book.
Yes, sharing the experience of a book. That's relationship based. Yeah. And this last one was Honey, I Want to Start a Business. And we read that together, which we wish we would have read years ago. But that's a different story.
As a social worker, how does that fit as a social worker? What is your advice on that?
I think it's a great idea.
Isn't it?
I think that's a great idea.
We can give you a list. We can give you a whole list. Trust
Yeah,
me.
we do have a list.
Give me a list too.
Just being able to, when you're taking in information and you're on the same page, like I think that's so powerful.
Make sure you guys grow together.
Going back again to the gathering of women at your conference, the kinds of things that we're discussing, you know, self-development is one of those things, and entrepreneurialism is another. Yeah. How to get along with your intended? Are there any instructions in that direction? Any classes in that directions?
Well, we this is kind of, I feel like in order for you to be in a relationship, you need to be whole yourself. You can't go into a relationship.
So this is kind of prepare you for the next step.
Yeah.
You know, let's get ourselves all tuned up and toned up.
A lot of women that come to the conference may be broken. So this is just a time for them to have some revitalization, to kind of gain some information on which direction to go.
Well, I think that's very valuable. I don't want to infer that that's not, because I have other things that I hope women are concerned about. Yes. But I agree with you that, you know, we want to be as whole and strong as possible. We want to, that's what a good night's sleep is supposed to give us, you know, the ability to wake up and be fired up and ready to go do something productive. As a team, I'm sure we haven't covered everything. What would you like to add into it in this last 5 or 6 minutes that we have?
I would say, I think you made a great point. The important is that we, as Chelsea said, if we're getting a relationship first with entrepreneurship or as a marriage relationship, that you come in whole as possible, and that you marry wisely, and understand that your business partner is your life partner is your business partner, whether they're actually engaged or not, and understand that's going to happen. So everything you do is going to affect them. So I would say my takeaways.
And the takeaways I would like to say is communicate. So having a plan, and what I mean by that is writing down your values. What as a couple, or what values as a couple do you want for your family, for you, so that you know as you choose the business or go on the entrepreneurship journey, you are working towards those values and those goals. So you are on those same page. So that's the one tip, because that's the foundation of a relationship, is really being on the same page, talking about your goals, writing down the values, and making sure what you guys do are according to that.
How long have you guys been married?
7+ years, almost 8.
Ooh.
It'll be 8 in July of next year.
Ooh, you guys are almost experts.
I wouldn't quite say that.
I was being sarcastic because as you get to the bends in the road, you'll at least be prepared to, you know, what your emergency status is. To prepare.
Yes.
We in Southern California live on earthquake faults all over the place, and most of us don't have any extra water in the car.
Right.
So when we talk about preparation, most of the time we're describing our level of hypocrisy.
Right.
Okay, we know what to do, and if you're willing to do what I tell you as opposed to what you see me do, you may be able to make some progress in your life, because I am marking the progress that I'm not making in my life by giving you the advice.
Well, Wallace, you've been married for how many years?
43 coming up.
So how did you do it, Wallace, with the newspaper and, you know, and everything else? How did you maintain?
You know, as I think about it and talk about it, and I listen to the advice of marriage counselors and people who are, you know, moving in that direction, we have never sat down, I think, ever, and written down a plan. I think we go back to the first time we saw each other. I mean, I you know, that old thing about love at first sight, you know, that old bunk about that, well, it is true, okay? Because I saw her, and it was so real that I wanted to run away from it, but I couldn't. And we met, and 3 months later, we were married. And, you know, we've had a couple of bumps in the road, you know, but that ain't no thing. You know, but my point is that we go back to, I love you, you love me, and we are going to make this thing work. if you were to look at me astrologically, you'd be looking at 6 people, because all of the double signs are right there in the front of my chart. And if you look at her, you see a rock standing in basically that solid position. And so I go back and touch base and tell back and touch base, because I know where she is all the time, with the fact that it's a support. You go crazy, you go hunt, you do what you got to do, but I'm gonna be sure that everything over here is all right. So she's been the stability as I've been the creativity, and she's still that. I mean, as we go into the twilight of it, she's still that. That was
poetry.
Well, she is. Yeah,
I did too. Did you see me?
Yeah, she is in my life. She is that poem, and so maybe that's why it's not written down. We've already determined how it's going to go. But I do understand how in any relationship or in anything you do, having a plan. Now, I have a written business plan. I have an action plan in that sense, and she certainly is aware of, the major aspects of it. But one of the things that we both agree to is that there's some things you want to relive together because they were fun, and some things you let the other person carry because that's their load. Okay, I mean, if I'm in the middle of negotiations and stuff for a couple of weeks, I'm not trying to reveal all of that to her. I ain't trying to reveal it all to me. If I think I know everything, what is God going to bring to the paper? Okay, so I'm willing to walk in wonderment, and I don't necessarily need you to know that I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know that I'm waiting for God to finish the message, and upon that, we can complete the deal. And so I have a wife, blessed. I am blessed to have a wife that gives me a long rope and smell good enough that I'm always going to run back to that end. So we're in good shape. God bless you.
Wow, Wallace.
If you can have
that's a good marital note right there.
You need a long rope.
I got a long rope.
Yes.
I got a long rope. She, she ain't always, 43 years now. She has divorced me about 16, 17 times.
Oh, okay, now here it comes.
Okay, but 2 or 3 day divorce sometimes ain't bad for you. Make you straighten out, get yourself together. Come on.
But you know that the divorce is going to be over in 2 or 3 days.
Oh yeah. It's just get yourself together, go brush your teeth, and come on back. No.
So the rock just flipped over, but it's still there.
Yeah, same rock.
Yeah.
Same rock, different angle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's what that's what we need to grow and show. If you're the same old thing all the time, you're not going to be an attraction to yourself or to anything or anybody else. Chelsea, your final words.
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm really glad I got to hear about your perspective as an entrepreneurial couple. I've never really heard that from a couple's stance, so that was really powerful. And also to hear that you're MFT, I think that's dope. I'm a MSW, so that's cool. And I just want to say I hope you ladies come out to the conference. October 20th is going to be a very powerful day.
Very good. I want to thank you guys for joining us, for being here with us. Tammy, thank you for keeping it riled up as usual.
Yes.
And thank you for producing a great show. We'll be back next week under 2 circumstances. 1, if the good Lord's willing. 2, if the creek don't rise. And some of y'all better learn how to swim, because you can't really depend on what that creek going to do. Okay, we'll look for you next week. God bless you. Thank you for spending your time with us. Bye.
Thank you guys. We're out.
Melinda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM. The Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands is serving up some really cool ice cream at La Micho Acana. Then get your chocolates and other delights from C's Candies. Moms and future moms who visit the mall can cool off and relax while they get treated like royalty at Shiny Nails or Francis Nails, and then pampered at Texture Hair. The Tri-City Center is filled with retailers who care about you. Shop at the Tri-City